Hi, I'm in my workshop come studio come large shed today. It's a little bit cold outside, so you will see that I'm wearing a coat, but this space is my area where I can just do a little bit of artwork, bit of photography, and then generally mess around with things without being disturbed, and also create a lot of these videos for you guys. So going to look at developing your project today, so tune in and I'll try and give you some tips for you to experiment with. Okay, so I've got one of my other students to just practice doing 1 point perspective using the inside of a room this time, and as you can see it's a pretty fair job. They've managed to add the windows and so on. So this is just to illustrate the fact that you can do things other than just doing streets. So that's 1 point perspective, and they've had a go at that. And they've also had a go at doing 2 point perspective. You can see again, pretty fair job. They've added some details onto the building, made this bit that comes out, and you know, that's a pretty good job. Today, what I'm going to show you is how you can now start to use that idea to turn what is a basic drawing into something that's a three-dimensional model. And the thing I want to cover today particularly is the difference between doing a straight building along what might be called a horizon and this sloping effect. Okay, so this is the important bit that I'm going to show you. So if I was to prepare my building, it's just a straightforward building with no details on it, no embellishments, no arches, etc. Just a straightforward functional building, square block. I'm going to turn this into something which is partly three-dimensional by cutting it out and folding it. So if I use this particular method, I will get the effect, and you'll see that once I've cut this out, you do get a three-dimensional building, but it doesn't create the illusion that it's going back into space very well. So you can't do this effect of, in a short space, creating what appears to be a great distance. If you use the one below, which is using ideas from my 1 point from the 1 point perspective practice, you can create the illusion that this is going back far further than it actually is. So what I've done is I've got the horizon here going part way through the building, which, as you can see on this one, the actual building would be on the horizon. This one's sunk slightly below, so I do draw a guideline through here. And then I've decided that my horizon line is going to go there, because that's where this line goes to. It goes to that vanishing point just beyond the building. So when I draw it out, I draw everything as normal, like there, and the ground stays straight. Now if I was just doing a perspective drawing, this part would also go to the vanishing point, but because I'm going to cut it out, I don't do that. I leave it flat like this, or straight, and I'd allow that bit to slope down to the vanishing point only. Okay, so I've now cut these out, and you can see that this one here is straight, and this one below, I've got that sloping line here. What I've also done is, apart from the top here where I've got a nice neat edge, I've left a little bit either side of each of these. I'm going to bend those to create a foot, so to speak, so that I can add some glue onto it and attach it either to the surface that I'm working on to create my 3D model, or to other parts of the buildings that the cityscape that I make. So I'm going to use this one first of all, and I'm going to get my ruler and show you how to score it and cut it and fold it. And then once these are made, I'll show you the difference with this one. Now I've got my tools for scoring and folding the paper. What I've got is a ruler, and if we were at school, we'd be using these kinds of scissors. And if you have those at home, have to be curved like this though, then you can use them. And the way in which we use these ones is to hold the scissors almost like a knife, and use that curved area. Okay, and then all you do is you run the scissors along the line using a ruler, and that will naturally fold along that scored line. If you're at home, which you are, you can use something like a butter knife or a food knife, okay? And that works actually better than scissors because some students get quite confused about which way around to hold it. I would recommend, if it's got a serrated edge like that, that you don't use that side, you use this side. Do not use a sharp knife because all that will happen is that you'll cut the paper. So you just want to score it. So once again, I do that, and that looks quite easy. I think everybody's got a knife at home like this, food knife. Just ask your parents again, is it alright if you use this? Yes, as long as you do the washing up. That's what I would say. There we go, that's like that. And now, the next bit, I do need scissors. I need to cut these because when we fold it, we're going to make little feet with these. So I cut like that. And I would probably cut either way, it doesn't matter. Cut that bit because you're going to fold those. And do that. And now what will happen, and I'll use this bit here because it will fold more easily, it will naturally want to fold along that scored line. Okay, and it does that. Now I can fold these feet outwards or inwards, it's entirely up to you guys what you do. Yep, I can fold this back here like that, and then that comes outwards. I won't do the other one. And then what I've got is my building. Now what I'm going to show you is the other one which I've cut. Now if you turn that, it's okay, but if I use this one with a slope and I fold that, that's a much more convincing building going back into the distance than the other one. Okay, both are acceptable, but that gives you that effect, and that means you can overlap and make things look a lot smaller and create a distance here, whereas this one I'd probably have to use 2 or 3 times the distance to get that same effect. Okay, obviously the more that this slopes, the greater the effect of that will be. So it will be up to you to experiment about these angles to create your cityscape. Okay, so that's how it works. Pretty effective if you do this. Have a go.